Welcome to Double Confirm Show, Christmas edition.
We need some cheesy Christmas songs. Do you think you can play it on the guitar there?
Nope.
No, you don't know any good Christmas jingles?
No.
Oh,
they put me on the spot.
Bugging
like
me though. Those Christmas jingles, they're everywhere now. They're in every single coffee shop. They're in the yoga studio
Immediately into the rant.
I was in the yoga studio this morning.
Thank you for joining us. Ignore him for a moment. You know, people, it's the first time people are listening to us. They just downloaded. They're like, it's Christmas special.
Everyone's cheered up.
The warm,
Fuzzy feeling.
We're
going to crush that today.
Crush it. Yeah. Doesn't feel like Christmas in Singapore, though.
Fucking hot.
Winter in Singapore. Yeah. Well, you don't sweat as quickly as normally. I've noticed that.
Still 30 degrees out, though.
Yeah. But it's a low 30.
It's a low...
It's like 29 and a half Celsius for all our listeners out there. In the U.S., we talk about Fahrenheit.
Well,
completely different.
It's only the U.S. where you talk Fahrenheit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big country. But there's so many things to talk about, and we have a long list here.
Oh, yeah.
But no order, no particular order.
Yeah, you're right. So we got a, what's the deal? This is an interesting one about our favorite topic.
Yes.
Which we'll speak, our favorite, company, our favorite brand.
The tech part of the show.
Tech part of the show.
Tech.
We have a someone you should know.
Yes.
It should be pretty interesting. Thomas has been speaking about these guys for ages.
For a long time.
There's some new news, which is amazing. We then have like a quasi sort of confused sort of travel report.
Quasimodo.
Quasi sort of, actually it's not really a travel report. It's more talk about a country that needs to sort itself out. We do have a travel report though from Thailand.
Undercover Asia edition,
right.
Yeah.
An undercover review. Actually, I also put something else in here. We've got two of them. So that'll be my segment.
Are you going to hold your laptop up the whole time?
I can't. I have to speak in the mic and I'm struggling to read
it
at the same time.
Before you trip to the toilet.
And then we have a couple of other little bits and pieces. But actually, should we start out with the bulletproof coffee we had this morning?
Bulletproof coffee. It's the best coffee for you. Do you mean?
Yeah.
Was that a jingle?
Was that a jingle? Well, you didn't think it was a bulletproof. You had some real reservations about this. So basically, we have some coffee, a coffee shop nearby, which
very close.
Serves a bit of. They call it bulletproof, but in Thomas's books, it's not really bulletproof. It just wasn't up to standards.
Correct.
It's an issue, huh? You had a real issue with it.
It's butter coffee.
You didn't drink it.
I drank half of it.
It's still half there.
It's half there. I don't want to drink it.
Look at that. It's all caking up at the top.
It's too heavy. It's too harsh. It's okay. It's like a gateway coffee to get to the bulletproof. They would call it butter coffee. More of a generic term when you throw butter in it. The butter was good grass-fed, unsalted stuff.
The coconut oil.
But coconut oil right there, you're already off. You're off the reservation because it has to be MCT or some sort of MCT.
But there's MCT in coconut oil.
Yeah. But it's a small percentage.
But he put a lot of coconut oil in that.
That's the problem. Then it becomes like you're drinking like coconut oil. Jesus. You're going to get the shits. I mean, you already did. They call that hashtag disaster pants.
Yeah.
In the community.
That's true.
That's what it's called.
It's because of the coconut oil? I thought it was the coffee.
Well, it was a combination, but the coconut oil gave you the big push. That was the turbo charge. It's true. It's true.
Oh, man. Gotta love it.
Oh, man. But this is the Christmas edition. We're not going to talk about toilet humor too much. Santa Claus. Yeah, a few days before Christmas, we hope to release this episode in a timely fashion, not weeks and months after Christmas.
You're right, you're not going to get this in February, hopefully.
Maybe next week. Maybe just after Christmas.
Oh, man.
Before New Year's.
Really? I don't want to, because Thomas always does impeccable editing on all these.
Yeah, I got crazy.
All these episodes,
Perfectionist.
As you can see, I'm trying to strategically influence for him to get it out as soon as possible.
I'm reading the book Influence again.
Oh, of course.
To deal with people like you. Influence. Oh, where is it? The Psychology of Persuasion.
It was a 1980s book, yeah?
84 is the first year it came out.
Yeah.
Influence. Seminal work by Dr. Cialdini, although they would say Cialdini in the United States.
He's Italian, though. Cialdini.
Yeah, he's very
What's
American
his first name?
time.
Robert.
Not
Roberto?
Well,
Roberto Cialdini.
Depends where you are. But this is a seminal work.
Yeah.
Originally out 84, then in 94, then in 2007, at least my edition is from 2007. Rereading it because I want to understand how people are messing with my head, basically, and how I can mess with theirs.
There we go.
For good. Only for good, though. Great power comes great responsibility. We know that.
Actually, I was having a discussion about this topic about influence. You know, marketing is all about influence.
Correct. This book is like the marketing people. Journal of Marketing Research says, for marketers. It is the most important book in the last 10 years.
Really? I haven't even read it.
And they would have updated that because this blurb was probably from 30 years ago.
But the reality is, you know, as marketeers, we've got a serious responsibility on our hands.
Totally.
Because, I mean, imagine, you know, selling sugary water to obese kids. Like, you're trying to influence them to be happy and drink this stuff. But the reality is you're killing them. And as a marketer, how can you live with yourself doing something like that? Sorry, guys, to all you good marketers out there.
This is a big moral dilemma.
It's huge. I mean, it really, like, bad marketeers are worse than bad lawyers. Or like
same.
You could classify us in that same category. Like, there's a serious. Who was I speaking to about this actually? But there's a massive responsibility there. I think.
Yeah. How do you resolve it as a marketer yourself?
I think I'll write an op-ed in a magazine or something on this topic.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
Written, like, I don't know,
for your blog.
Ethical marketing.
Ethical marketing.
That's good.
It's like social entrepreneur.
It has a ring to it.
It's very, very zeitgeist. You're right in the zeitgeist, man.
Good, eh? Right on the pulse.
You're on the pulse.
You know, I can bring Trump into this whole thing.
Oh God!
You think it wouldn't work?
No, it probably would work, but it scares me whenever that name is mentioned.
I'll get you to read the first draft. Actually, that's what I'm going to do this Christmas.
That's a great idea.
I'll write a little paper, like a white paper.
Yeah, white paper. Whatever color you want, man. A white paper. Yeah, I think it's great for the blog, for public consumption.
Yeah, man.
We get it published in the Journal of Marketing Research.
Dude, I'm not a PhD, man. Like, you know,
not yet.
I'll do an op-ed. See how it gets traction. Then I'll do like some speaking tours. You know, write the book after 2 years.
You're crazy. You're getting ahead of yourself. Come up with some good, insightful
Easy
insights.
Easy. Because I used to work for a company that used to sell products which were questionable. I'm not going to name it.
Yeah, I mean like
and I was
sugary,
like, really?
caffeinated.
You know, and I had an issue with it. I did, really. I was like, I lasted 6 months there. No, 9 months. I was like, no, I can't do it, eh?
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, unlike you, I want to use marketing to advance my agenda.
Okay.
But not for evil. Of course, I'm not going to sell crack cocaine to the children or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
You know, well, they say sugar is as addictive as cocaine.
What's it? High fructose corn syrup.
High fructose corn syrup. HFCS. Oh, I just abbreviated it.
Okay, we can't swear on this episode. We need to see if we could try and not swear.
Yeah, keep a clean rating for our 10-year-old demographic. We really lost them.
That'll last about 10 minutes. It's gonna slip out in a few minutes.
I'm keeping it clean, man. Clean.
Before we get on to another topic,
it's so clean. I can't. Oh.
Before we get on to our first topic, I do want to talk about some feedback that we got from one of our listeners.
Oh, good. I don't know this
I don't know if you remember, but we've been accused openly of sometimes not taking a stand on certain topics.
They can make their own show.
Do you remember? I think you were there when we got that feedback.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think, and look, I'll take that feedback.
Take it.
And I think I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive about this shit now.
Okay.
I'll take some positions.
Hey, man.
And we can't just keep on. I don't actually think we're yes men. We're far from yes
men. We take positions all the time.
We're just a bit more left wing, though. And this person was a bit more right wing.
I'm kind of in my own wing right now. You know, because sometimes you thought I was a super right wing. The stuff I was saying about capitalism and how the good it's done for the world.
Left wing, right wing. It's really just one circle of trust.
I'm not on the wings. I'm more of. It's too complicated. I wasn't ready for this.
Sorry.
But let's get back to the feedback. So the feedback was they wanted us. I know what she wanted to do. It's a she. I know who it was.
Oh man, you're putting it out there, huh?
Well, you just said we're going to make a stand.
Yeah, we do.
I'm going to mention her name.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
And give her email address. And her favorite color.
She's gonna get hate mail.
No. Okay, I won't go that far. Privacy is still important to us.
But we love our feedback. I mean, guys, like, please, I know Thomas is taking this defensively, but we really do appreciate everyone's feedback.
What am I? Oh, you're taking it defensively. I'm not taking it. That's just a joke. I have two thoughts about that. One, I take the feedbacks about taking a stand, and I think we do take a stand. But we're not so rigid. We're still flexible. We discuss. We're open, which is something that's far too rare in this day and age, where people do take a stand because they just want to make waves and get attention and eyeballs and ad dollars and sugary drinks, etc. Right? Sell.
Yeah, I got
and I'm okay with selling, but I'm like you, man. I still have a conscience.
Ooh.
A conscience. Your laugh's probably going to be distorted.
Okay.
But that's the stand I'm taking right now.
Got it.
Distorted laughter on the radio. We're on the radio.
Awesome.
So I didn't finish my point. First point was that. Second point, yeah, cool. I get it. I know her style. She wants to create not scandal, but controversy in a way. Like you're like saying something really out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And we do. We have a whole list of stuff here. Betrayal by Apple. Oh, we haven't even mentioned that yet.
Here we go.
Are we jumping into the list here?
I think it's the first what's the deal?
But yeah, what's the deal? But before I hit the what's the deal, the last point on her.
Yeah.
Have her own show already. Put your own show on. I'm not going to...
He's scaring away our listeners who want to give us feedback.
No, I'm taking a stand.
Okay.
Right? I'm not being wishy-washy. That's the point.
Good luck to the rest of you guys. Just send me a personal message because I think Tom will lose his
Everybody's
shit.
got an opinion. Opinions are like, I'm trying to keep it clean. Okay, whatever. Betrayal by Apple. I just found out yesterday. I don't know if Merrick knows about this news. I don't know about it.
Yeah, you're going to...
When this gets published next week...
Because obviously, guys, we love Apple, as you all know from our previous shows.
I've had a lot of problems with Apple this last year.
No, I was being facetious.
Oh, yeah. You convinced me. Your marketing is so good, man. I didn't realize you're being facetious. Apple, I've been having problems with them. As you know, Apple... Whatever, everyone knows they built their base on the creative industry, the creatives back in the day, decades ago. Great product
for creatives.
And then they gradually became a mobile device retailer, iPhones and iPads and whatever, iClouds. And that's cool. And now, well, since we're talking about it, the new the iMac Pro, which just recently got released, the base model is $4,999.99 US for the base model.
Whoa.
Just to get in the door.
That's a little black guy that sits on your desk.
That's the Mac Pro. This is the iMac, the all-contained thing. Because I've been looking at upgrading my shit, and I just broke my clean rating. Maybe I could buzz that out. I could zap it out. I'll make a sound over it. Anyway. So anyway, I'm not so happy about that. But most recently in the news, we're talking about tech right now for all you tech lovers. Apple admitted that they were throttling down the CPUs in the older iPhones.
I did read that.
You did read that?
Yeah, I read it this morning.
You might have read it this morning. I saw it yesterday. I posted it all over Facebook because I got so many followers. Hundreds of people know about it now. Yeah, in fact, follow me on Facebook / Facebook.com/Thomas Mangieri, Mangieri. We're going to give you all that stuff at the end of the show.
He's working on the influencing.
Influencing, yeah, right? It's not very subtle. Oh, goodness. But the point was, Apple, they came out and said they got caught, though. It wasn't like they announced it. They kind of got caught red-handed, admitted to it. And everyone's like, what the deal, Tim? Not Tim, Tom. Wait, what's his name again? Tim Cook? Tom Cook. He's hiding his persona. He's like, I'm not Tim, no, I'm Tom Cook.
But in the article I read this morning, I think it was in Wired magazine, he blamed the battery. Well, they blamed the battery degradation in order to deal with it. Apparently, the story was that they came out, which many people weren't happy with, was as the phone gets older, the battery degrades. The battery gets to a point where it can't serve up the peak power if you have a lot of things running, a lot of apps running, and it demands power quickly. And it could force the phone to automatically shut down or automatically restart. And people are like, oh, what's going on? My phone's acting weird.
So they said, okay, we'll just have this little feature, quote unquote, that down regulates the CPU, so you never get that peak demand on power from the battery to mitigate batteries failing as they get older, and like the phone failing. But they didn't announce it. There was no announcement. They didn't say we're doing this. And on top of it, I've heard some people talk about how, well, it seems like a good idea, but add it as if it is a true feature, you should give the people a preference option to turn it on or off. Like, hey, you know, I don't mind occasional crashes. I want to have maximum CPU power at all times. But they don't, there's no option. There's no option.
Interesting.
So that's why I got a bit scandalous.
But you know, you can replace the battery for like $50. You know, it's feasible.
I've heard about that.
You know, it's just like, come on, dude. Like, if it's really a battery, I should give the consumer a choice.
No, but that's the whole point. Apple's gotten to the point where no more choices. No more choices.
But they were never big into choices, if you think about it.
They used to be. I mean, you're talking about back in the day, that was the whole point. You could like user-friendly, user-upgradable. You could kind of do stuff with it. But now they've been sealing up, like the new iMac Pro, which is like the sealed machine. You can't even add RAM to the computer yourself. You have to do it in factory, and Apple's inflated prices that'll like double the cost of the RAM. Whatever you would get anywhere else, it's like at least double for Apple to do it.
Yeah.
So they're really, really sucking like a vampire bat, like a leech, like sucking the blood from their Apple base because they got a big base
profit,
now. So they're turning off a lot of. Honestly, this year I've been reading more and more about photographers and other creatives switching to Windows machines, saying, you know what, I love Apple, but it's gotten too crazy. I could buy a machine that's comparable in terms of the specs and the performance at half the price, and still give myself options to upgrade or add or whatever. And that's happening. I'm hearing about it more and more in the industry.
Well, everything works now. If you think about it, everything works online now. Everything is almost done on the browser. At least I do all my work on a Chrome browser. Everything. Yeah. Like, I don't really use Excel documents anymore, or even like Word documents. Like even the email thing I use through Gmail, like it's all online at the moment.
Yeah, but that's all relatively lightweight, office-y kind of work. But if you're doing heavy
Creative
photo
stuff,
editing or video editing or all that kind of stuff, you require.
But you get Photoshop, and it works the same on a Mac as it does on a PC.
Well, that's just the thing. All the apps are comparable across both platforms.
Exactly.
So that's why, and seriously, you have photographers moving over, video people really taking a second look, and they're like, sure, I've been with Apple for 20-some years, for instance, but it's getting to the point where, like literally half price or less, you could be building out your own sweet ass system that to use for work. Yeah, and I'm looking at it myself, and I have been the last couple of months.
And which brand would you go with then? Like, would you literally? I mean, like, what are you talking? Dell, HP, Sony?
I would probably build out my own system.
Literally,
I would get like a box and put in my own CPU and put in my own RAM and put in my own video card. It would take some research.
But there's a gap in the market here, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like if HP, Sony, whoever are not covering this, like, man, it's huge.
It's true. It's an opening. You're right. Because Apple used to be a lock. People were in the system and they never would want to leave. But I don't know, man. I think 2018, there might be a...
Who does desktops anymore? Nobody.
That makes them?
Yeah.
You just get the components. You go down to Sim Lim Square.
But can you imagine doing like an Apple competitor desktop specifically for creatives?
None. There's none I could think of.
You could easily.
You could.
Give it a nice branded name for creatives.
Shit, man.
Man,
what are we doing here?
Why are we talking about this on the podcast, man? Everyone's going to steal our idea. We're going to have to edit this out.
Oh, Jesus. Well, if anyone does do it, let us know.
Yeah. We'll help with the marketing.
We'll market it. We'll push it. We'll be unscrupulous.
We'll take a tiny fraction of the shareholders.
Just a little whiff. Away for thin. Away for thin. It's percentiles. Oh, yeah. But so the deal with Betrayal by Apple. So Tim Cook is like, yeah, we've been down regulating your CPUs. But everyone, of course, says, it's because my phone's getting old and you want to incentivize me to upgrade.
Here we go.
They're not talking about new batteries. They're talking about, hey, iPhone X for $1,000.
I changed my phone a few weeks ago.
What is that?
It's the new Pixel. The Google Pixel.
Oh, you're moving to...
It was painful.
So you switched over from Apple to the Google Pixel.
It was painful to... I mean, I lost all my WhatsApp messages. I lost everything.
You don't need that crap.
dude, there was a lot of stuff in them.
A lot of like love notes.
Photos. You could re-download all the apps.
But is it still up there? You can get it all.
No, because it's all in iCloud.
Oh, it's all iCloud.
As soon as you put it onto Android, they don't talk to each other.
No.
And they refuse to.
Yes.
So it's like you have to download each app separately. I mean, the good news is in the apps, you can log back in on most of them. But WhatsApp's no. But like, for example, Instagram is fine.
Right, because they keep in its own servers.
Airbnb was painful.
Really?
Uber was painful. Grab was painful.
See? I don't like feeling trapped, man. Don't like it.
I mean, it took me about 2 weeks to just
get everything up and running.
And it's okay.
Do you like it now, the Pixel? The Google Pixel?
Give me another 2 weeks. I mean, it's fast. Photos are fantastic. Like, it all integrates with all the Google products. So, like, no issues.
And you're very Google-licious.
Yeah. And my iPhone was slowing down a few weeks ago.
And that was a 6 or 7 or 6?
It was annoying me a lot because like all the new apps were just like, it was slow to open Windows. Yeah, but like fraction of a second. I could just feel that battery was only lasting half a day. It was like I literally had to charge it twice a day.
How old is that? 6?
It was 2 years old.
2 years old. Yeah. 2 years. And they're like, built-in obsolescence.
There we go, man. There we go.
That's what everyone thinks though. The whole conspiracy theorists, like Apple needs this move product. So they got to down-regulate the old product. As simple as that. And I hate to say it, but yeah. Doesn't surprise.
To admit though, like I saw the iPhone X. A friend of mine in Tokyo had it.
Yeah.
Whew, it's a nice phone. Like it just feels
edge to edge.
Solid. But it's really heavy.
Feels like the future.
It does. It literally does. It's like really, I mean, I was like, wow, that's a sexy device. But it's, what's it, $1,000?
1,000 US.
Yeah, it's not cheap, eh? But apparently it's as fast as like MacBooks from 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's got as much computing power as those MacBooks.
Yeah, just be safe, careful with it.
Why?
You're walking around with that thing. I mean, in Singapore it's safe, but if you're hanging out in New York or something on the subway with an iPhone X.
Oh, cheers.
The wrong person sees that. Quick grab, 5-finger discount, skedaddle out the subway.
Done.
Sell it. 20% off, $800. Yo, quick.
Speaking of travel, where are you going for Christmas?
I'm not going to steal any iPhone X's. If that's what you're asking. Christmas time is here.
You chilling in Singapore?
Christmas time. I'm staying in Singapore City.
Nice.
Last year, I wasn't here. This time, well, it's nice because it's wintertime in Singapore.
And it's quiet. Everyone leaves.
Everyone's out of town. Yeah. It's quiet.
Super chilled.
Winter.
Orchard Road was amazing. Orchard Road, there's nobody on the road.
Nobody around. No, it's great.
I skateboarded down Orchard Road one Christmas. Like Christmas Day, literally.
Through the snow.
There was no cars.
It was like 29 degrees Celsius.
That's crazy.
Which for our American listeners is approximately, how many in Fahrenheit?
No idea, bro.
I would say 85, 86 degrees. A cool winter day.
Speaking of our American listeners, I'm just aware we've got a lot to cover today, man.
And we're already 20 minutes into this thing. We got to get picking up speed.
Yeah.
Christmas time. What are you doing for Christmas?
South Africa tomorrow. Actually, tonight. Can't wait. And speaking of iPhones, I'm going to have to hide all my iPhones and Pixels and
When you get back to...
man.
Sure.
Shit. Well, I don't even want to look at them. I'll be out on the beach.
So you're going straight to Cape Town or
Joburg. So no beach, but it'll be pool, barbecues. Yeah, it'll be nice. Sunshine. Oh, it'll be magic. Looking forward to it.
You'll be in the southern hemisphere.
Exactly.
Which is
summertime.
Wonderful. Summertime. It's winter time.
Speaking of travel reports.
Yeah.
You're thinking about, should we speak about my Thailand trip, or should we speak about your runaways situation?
Well, it's supposed to be a Christmas theme show. So far, we haven't really touched upon it. Christmas theme. What do you want for Christmas?
Peace on earth.
Goodwill toward men and women.
Would that be okay? Like, that's all I ask for, really.
Well, that's very noble.
Everyone needs to chill the fuck out.
Explicit rating. We'll have to bleep that with some Santa Claus sounds, like some jingle bells. Jingle, jingle.
Just a bit of peace and quiet. It's actually more the quiet I need than the peace. People just need
I know, right?
chill.
I can't get quiet anywhere I go. We're like a bunch of 80-year-old men. The clickety-clack of the Everything's clicketing and clacketing.
Of the art installations.
Outside the building. Yeah, I couldn't concentrate. But yeah, so you want peace, love, and goodwill toward men and women. Okay, that's great.
And yourself? you eyeing the new MacBook? Is that it?
Well, we could either go the non-materialistic route, which is I would love to really have the capability to travel through wormhole technology, but it's not there yet. But these are the things that, that's why when people ask me questions, I don't answer often, because that is my answer. And they'd be like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I like to travel by wormhole.
Of course. Can you imagine how efficient that would be?
It's so fast. It'd be instantaneous. Instantaneous travel. Imagine that. You can fly from here, fly. No, you're wormholing.
Walk.
Wormholing, man. We got to come. You're wormhole traveling straight to wherever you want. Cape Town, Joburg, New York, whatever. Alaska, Sweden. I don't know why. Well, I know why I said Sweden.
Actually, speaking of which, I also read in the paper they did their first Hyperloop test with Virgin. Is
that the Elon Musk? No, Virgin. That's the Sir Richard Branson.
Apparently, that shattered some world speed records or something on that thing.
I didn't hear about this.
It's crazy.
Give me some tech news, man.
Okay, I need to do the research on this. I don't know why I put it out there, but I just
do the research after.
Flipboard. I just did a quick flipboard. I was like, wow, okay, cool.
What happened?
I don't know. I didn't read the whole article.
So a Hyperloop.
Hyperloop's testing, big time. Speaking of wormholing.
It's still traditional, though. It's still traditional trying to go faster. Like, get your thing, go faster, reduce friction, whatever. I'm in a vacuum tube.
So you want to bend space and time.
I want to go like quantum mechanics. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, what's it called when you're in entanglement? They call it when like 2 points, two cells.
String theory.
2 atoms. String theory is the competing one. But point is wormhole. I like to travel by wormhole for Christmas. Like, have that capability. If I can't have that, I have a backup. I have a fallback position, which is usually my fallback position for Christmas.
Which is business class.
Real estate.
Real estate.
Real estate, okay. Which is something I learned as a young boy reading Peanuts. Real estate, which is, Charlie Brown, the Peanuts comic strip.
Yeah.
Sally, I believe, the older sister of Linus.
Okay.
That's what she always wanted that for Christmas.
She wanted real estate.
Yeah, I remember reading that when I was a kid. And it stuck in my head. And I always thought, that's a good idea.
Is that what she said? So it's one of the comic strips?
Yeah, it's in one of the books.
It's so brilliant.
Yeah, so real estate. So even back then, what's his face? It's
Peanuts.
Not Martin who did that? Schultz. Yeah.
Was it Martin Schultz?
No, Charles Schultz.
Yeah.
Charles Schultz. Not Seuss, not Dr. Seuss, a different guy. But so either of those two things and I'd be happy finally.
Nice.
That's my position. I'm sticking to it. All right, that's Christmas time.
I wonder how you put that under a tree. A wormhole.
A gift card. A gift certificate.
Oh, so
unlimited wormhole travel for Team and Jerry.
For 1 year.
Forever. Forever and ever. Amen. What kind of accent was that? Anyway, moving on. So we got Christmas time. That's on the list. What's going next?
We've got some runaways from the US.
Should we talk about that? Is that too political? I think you want to slip into the politics. We go from the tech.
Yeah.
No, we go from personal update to tech to politics. Betrayal by Apple. Wait, we already did that. Runaways from the US. Who wrote these headlines? my lovely wife, Pauline, wrote the
very dramatic.
Runaways from the US. So, as you guys all know, the United States has been going through a whole world of weirdness and pain and craziness, politically speaking. Want to kick everyone out, want to keep everybody in, you want to control the world. It's really, really dark, strange times. And I hope a few years from now we're going to look back on this recording and say, remember those times? Wow, that was a crazy time. Now it's so much better. But we're not there yet. So people are running away from the United States, as we know, renouncing U.S. citizenship. I'm not planning on renouncing mine. I am an American citizen. But I'm concerned. And I know I live abroad. I plan on living abroad forever because I don't want to go back to the U.S.
I told you earlier, actually, I'm applying for an American visa. And they've got these 20 questions at the end of the application.
20 very personal Personal question.
Personal, like, are you a terrorist? Have you ever been part of a terrorist organization?
Seriously?
Dude, they full on. It's like almost like they want to just, just in case you do something, it's like you tick that box. You said you weren't. you lied to us. But right at the end, there was a couple of new ones because I applied 10 years ago for that. And, they had a couple of those questions.
Yeah.
And the last one was, have you ever renounced your American citizenship on tax grounds, for tax reasons? I was like, whoa.
That's new.
That's hectic.
That's new because there's people renouncing because of tax reasons. Man, I mean, people I've met in Singapore who are Americans who gave up U.S. citizenship over the last few years. It's been a trend that's building momentum. Every year is like 20-some%.
I don't think it's just tax. I mean, tax is like a benefit out of it. I mean, like you said, I think there's more. People are just, I don't know. What is it?
It's tax.
You think it's tax?
It is tax.
Really?
I think for a lot of people. Because they don't feel like they're in control of their lives. Like they're constantly dealing with bureaucracy and it's becoming basically when something doesn't have the value. It's like, why am I doing this anymore? They ask themselves and there's no good reason.
But it's for the American army. That's why you pay.
Well, that's just the thing. Then you have Americans in the United States who think that those people are, I don't know, like... not traitors in a way.
The people that renounce citizens.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, no, they're making a decision based on their life situation and what's good for them.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not the expense of the army, and it's like
crazy.
There's so much money wasted by the U.S. government. But this is very political. Are we a political show?
I mean, jeez, dude. No, I don't.
But you're applying.
Not during Christmas though.
It's Christmas. Politics. Politics are discussed over Christmas. Usually over after a few drinks.
It's true.
And then there's a shouting match. That's
Well, we're facing our own tax issues in South Africa.
Yeah.
So they want to tax us on global income.
Yeah.
But we don't have any fucking global army. Like, it's like, come on, dude. So,
global
I mean,
army.
Look, I'm pretty lucky. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this on air, but
true.
I've got options.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, it comes to a point where it's like, screw you guys. Like, fine, thanks. No, I'll go back as a tourist.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, fine. Like, I'll immigrate. I'll do what I have to do,
Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to evade taxes, not at all. I just have some other options, which is nice because tax evasion's illegal. You should never evade taxes.
No, you got to be legal about it all.
Got to be legal.
But the United States is a great case in point because the majority of people there are either immigrants or came from immigrants, like myself. There's just 2-3 generations or 2 generations. My great-grandparents and my grandparents. They came to the U.S. because there was better opportunities there. And people will leave the U.S. if there are better opportunities elsewhere. It's the same logic, the same reasoning,
Don't put them on a leash, man. Like, you got to,
exactly.
Give them the options.
Land of the free, home of the brave. Come on, man.
It's hectic.
Consistency. What would
very
the influence book say about it? The consistency principle.
Okay.
It's culturally indoctrinated to be consistent. Otherwise, you're ostracized, and they're like, whatever. Like,
as a bit of sort of
academic
feedback from our listeners. So, what's our position on this whole fucking thing?
What is the position on runaways from the U.S.? That's a great title for something.
I love it
for a white paper.
Runaways
from USA.
Oh, that would be good. I could see that blog. In the economics. In the Economist.
Yeah. The Economist, totally.
Headline.
Economist, give us credit.
A special.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out for myself. You're trying to figure out for yourself. It's a different...
But you've decided you're not going back to the US.
Well, I don't want to go back. Yeah. I don't have to go back.
For now.
Forever. Forever and ever. No, I mean, the US is going through dark times.
Yeah.
And the point is, let's talk about it. My sister... She's going to be, her and her family are going to be moving to Stockholm, Sweden next year. She has a job there. She's moving out of the US and she's very happy, as you might imagine.
She's got an option.
She has an option. I mean, she speaks Swedish, so that helps too.
Yeah.
Although you could get by with English in places like that. But I mean, this is just in my immediate family. Like, people are doing that. And I know a lot of people are jealous of her. And they're like, how can I do that?
Oh, so they're not saying you're a traitor. They're more like, can you give me...
Oh, I mean, you could probably get the whole spectrum. You get people who think all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, probably think she's a robot too. I mean, people think all kinds of aliens.
Welcome to the US of A.
Yeah. But we're not going to solve it on this podcast. I just want to... Why do I even mention it?
Because it's topical.
It's topical.
Yeah.
It's something that's
and
on my
there's more
mind.
and more people leaving. I got to go in for work. I saw it on my visa. I'm like, really? That's surprising. It's like, wow. I think we're on top of these trends, actually.
We're on top of these trends.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening, man.
Yeah, right into us, guys. Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody who's leaving the US? We'll welcome them to Singapore.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you know, freedoms across the board are getting tighter and tighter. So it's
anyway,
heavy, dude. This is Christmas time.
Let's talk about something a little lighter.
Christmas time.
I think there's someone you should know.
Someone you should know. It's a fictional character.
Because I know you speak about this all the time, and I've never seen it.
Your loss.
I know, but now you said it's on
Netflix. Okay.
Huge.
This is something everyone should know about. And this is on, what category is this? This is the entertainment and arts and entertainment section.
So it's not comedy?
Well, entertainment is comedy. Okay. That encapsulates everything. Toast of London.
Oh.
Toast of London is the name of the show. You may have heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, it's one of the funniest comedy shows in the world. I was lucky enough to come across it when they were still playing it on Singapore Airlines a few years ago.
Really?
And my lovely wife, Pauline, who's in her own world, she saw it on the show, on the plane.
Yeah.
And we were flying somewhere.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you got to check this out.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. Because she knows me. All right. I watched it. I'm on the plane.
Yeah.
Got my earphones on, my noise canceling, checking it out. It was so fun. I started laughing out loud. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm in the middle of the plane. Pauline's saying like, quiet, shh. And I couldn't stop laughing. I was like out of control. It was a great episode.
Yeah.
You when you see it, it's the one where they have the they're overdubbing the like Swedish gay porn film or something. They're like something ridiculous, and they're overdubbing it into English. Anyway, and I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous.
Toast of London.
Toast of London. And anyway, they had 3 seasons, and then it kind of stopped. And
3 seasons of 10 episodes each?
So I think it's only like 6 episodes. Really short seasons.
Pretty solid, though, 3 seasons.
On some BBC channel. I don't know.
So it's English?
It's English.
It's not an American?
Not American.
Okay.
BBC 4, I think.
Wow, okay.
Don't quote me on that.
I need to download this for tonight, I think.
Yeah, man. And it's great. And it's funny. And they pretty much picked up where like Monty Python's and shows classic English comedies left off. They picked it up. Absurd, completely straight-faced the whole time. The more ridiculous, the more straight-faced.
Typical English comedy.
Yeah. It's if you're looking for a comedy show.
Yeah.
Boom, it's the best. And it gets a little risque. And that's what happened. Singapore Airlines had to drop it because I think the checkers didn't check some stuff.
The Swedish porn didn't work.
Well, that actually passed, but I think they did an orgy scene on one of the episodes. And it was like, nudity. Because,
the English are pretty open that way sometimes.
Women's breasts were shown, I think. But it was a lot of, what's the word when you imply sexual stuff? A lot of implied sexuality.
But that's, again, typical English.
Totally English. And then the Singapore guy who didn't check on that, he's gone. The Singapore Airlines guy, I'm afraid. Because then they stopped showing the show. So then I'm on the plane looking for it, and it's no longer being played. And that was, I don't know, a year or two ago.
It's brilliant that Netflix acquired it. I mean, they're doing such a good job.
Netflix acquired it. They're streaming it now, or they will be soon. And they gave them an influx of a new audience, a new market.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to report that Toast of London is doing a 4th season. They're writing the episodes as we speak.
Huge.
Which it kind of was dormant for a few years, but they're back on it. Matt Berry, who's the main writer and the main actor, he reported that they're writing episodes.
He writes and acts in the.
Well, he's a writer. He's one of the writers. Him and another guy.
He's like,
he's a comedian.
Yeah, who's I'm trying to think.
Toast of London.
Hashtag Mr. Bean. Who's the guy?
Oh, Mr.
Rowan
Bean.
Atkinson.
Roy Atkinson.
And he also did a season of what was it? He also had like an episodic season of different comedies.
There was a few.
Like
early on was
there was a Victorian episode, there was a Second World War episode, there was a First World War episode.
I know all the things. These are
Blackadder.
Blackadder was the medieval times show.
Yeah, so you're calling it serious? It was flipping hilarious.
I never really saw it.
Oh, dude, if you,
you know, I got. Unfortunately, I saw the Mr. Bean thing, which is not that
terrible.
Funny.
It's terrible.
It's good if you're like 7 years old, maybe.
Terrible.
I guess.
Yeah, but Blackadder.
That was supposed to be classic.
Really,
I never,
really good.
I never really saw it.
I think this is the sort of stuff you'd like. I mean, it sounds like you're appreciating that sort of humor.
Toast of London.
And Rowan Atkinson is brilliant.
Smart
the guy is genius, like a comedic genius,
and businessman,
and writer. I mean, like very, very well done.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, Mr. Atkinson.
Rowan. My apologies. I am not very good at pronouncing British names. The Britishisms. Yeah. So I urge everyone in 2018, if you want some good laughs, Toast of London, now on Netflix. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Oh, man. We need to get free subscriptions.
Free subscription. Yeah. We'll talk about whatever they play. And we'll say it's all good.
Not always.
No, unless it's not good.
Some junk on there sometimes.
But
there's some really good stuff on there. I mean, they're killing it. You know that they're completely destroying the TV industry and the cable TV industry in the US?
Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu, even HBO, I would say. They're still holding on.
Oh, yeah, man. But they, HBO, they're smart. Because they basically go with any distributor that's out there. But they still make amazing content.
Truly.
And I think they've got... do they have shareholding in Hulu? I think it is.
These are great questions. I don't know the answers to them.
Yeah. I mean, there was a massive Disney acquisition of Fox recently.
Oh,
Did you hear about that?
21st Century Fox.
Everyone's sort of trying to... It's a war out there, man. That whole industry is just like trying to sort of sort this all out.
Bloodbath.
Yeah, it's full on, man.
I'm scared, man.
I mean, Disney acquiring Fox, that's like huge.
Yeah.
Huge
with a Y.
And you know, Disney pulled off all the content from Netflix.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about that.
A couple of weeks ago as well.
So they pulled it off.
Acquired Fox. Very, very well planned. Like, clearly they were like...
And they're going to come out with their own Disney network. I mean, they have a channel.
Hulu.
What am I saying?
They've got like a huge
so they'll amp up. They'll put Hulu on steroids. And it'll be like the Disney...
With Mickey Mouse.
Which owns what? Do they own Pixar probably?
Do they?
Somebody has Pixar.
They got Star Wars.
Oh, George Lucas.
Marvel,
Lucasfilm. Marvels.
I mean, they got it all, man. They're huge.
God, what are we going to do, man?
Wow. Now they got Fox.
Juggernaut.
They got ESPN.
ESPN.
Do they have ESPN? Yeah, they got ESPN. Disney and ESPN. What the hell, man?
Was this on the list of things to talk about today?
No, sorry. I'm just putting it out
there.
But
it's good. It's good. I'm not prepared for it. I'm drawing a blank, so you're going to have to carry this part of the show.
We never are, dude. I'm just putting it out there. This might be completely off, actually.
No, it's on. It's on.
No, my facts, as usual. Disney. Bob Iger. Bob. Yeah, he's smart. One smart motherfucker.
Jesus, explicit rating.
Sorry, unlike Tim Cook.
Timothy Cook.
You and Bob need to have a lunch or something.
Well, tech news you can use.
Yeah. Should we flip to a little bit closer to home?
Let's flip it back to home.
Yeah, let's talk about Asia. Go. So I had a very cool trip to Thailand the other day. And I just got to talk about it because it was so good. So we went to a restaurant, very, very lucky. I mean, I think the bookings were made like 3 or 4 months before, to an Indian experimental restaurant called Gaggan. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's in Bangkok. Fantastic. I mean, absolute. Now, I'm not really into, actually, okay, let me be 100% honest because,
Are you a foodie?
Not at all. And I was about to say, I fucking hate foodies. Who the fuck is a foodie? Like, sorry, I'm going on a rant now. Like, honestly, if you call yourself a foodie, God.
Come on, take it easy, Mr. Rant.
I can't
You can't talk about anything without ranting.
You know what bugs me? Because how can somebody pay $400 for a meal where literally you have to get carried out of a restaurant, and when they are, oh man,
because you're stuffed?
Is it really like the epitome of living? Is to eat food which is like completely overpriced, over-engineered, and pay that ridiculous amount of money. When down the road, you hardly have people like being able to afford a 1 square meal a day.
So that's 2 questions then. It's about the morality of having a very expensive meal.
Well, that's all it is actually. What's the
I
second
thought
one?
you're like, what's the appeal? I thought you're going to go with like, why would you want to spend an excessive amount of money and be just completely stuffed out of your mind? And
well, I guess
like,
it's 2 actually. Yeah, you're right.
That's
you're
like
right.
there's 2 questions.
Yeah,
Because the first question that I perceived you were asking was like, why would you want to do that? And my answer is, I don't care. Because let them do what they want to do as long as they're not messing with me. Have at it.
You're right.
Enjoy.
You're right.
However, then you come double down with a morality question. The morale, that's a bigger question.
So what do you think about that?
Well, then it's like, it's a big socialism thing. You're like, well, you mean you want to give everyone, do you want to give to charity? There's people give to charity, or do you want to go out and volunteer yourself and give, I don't know, cook food and pass it amongst needy people? That's a whole nother kettle of fish.
Controversial, yeah. And I think rightly so. Like, for $400, $400 like per person, like why would you do that? But anyway,
I wouldn't.
I'd agree. So I'm not a foodie, no. But this place was insane. And the beauty of it is, and why I actually appreciated it, I only found out later that it's actually not that expensive. So this guy, Gaggan Anand, who runs the restaurant, he's from India originally. He worked in some of the best restaurants globally, El Bulli in Spain, which is apparently a very good restaurant. He then worked for the Taj Group, which is a big Indian run hotel conglomerate, and in Thailand. And then he set up his own restaurant called Gaggan, which is basically modern Indian cuisine. Yeah. And I think, I stand to be corrected, but I think the price is something around $50 to $100 per person, which is not like the exorbitant Michelin star $400 price.
Truly.
It was 20 dishes.
Whoa.
But they were
exceptional.
Like, this is something, now I've had the fortune, I'm very lucky to have eaten in some good restaurants. I wouldn't call myself a foodie. It's mainly because of some of the perks I get with some of the people I hang out with.
Right. You're a lucky guy.
This was really good. Like, so the food was insane. So modern Indian food. So normally Indian food, you'd expect heavy curries, a lot of sauces, a lot of rice. Yeah. This was Chapati. Not it at all. It was small little tasters of, so imagine like really sort of, new French cuisine with small little plates. This is small little plates of Indian spicy, like really rich, sort of little bite-sized.
Like a taster set.
So good.
Like
exactly. Omakase,
Japanese style.
Exactly. Almost impossible to get a reservation there. So obviously we have this amazing meal. I think there was like 6 of us.
Obviously.
And then Mr. Anand himself came out of the kitchen. This was already late because these are one of these meals where it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Right, debauchery. Yeah.
It's good. It gets tiring towards the end, but actually this was perfect. You didn't feel like exhausted. You didn't feel completely stuffed. But 2 hours of sitting around with,
you're ready to move.
And Mr. Gaggan comes out the kitchen with, I think it was a glass of tea, a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and just comes around and says hi to all the patrons.
That's good. That's a good businessman there.
Yeah, clearly you can see the guy's passionate about what he does.
Right.
He comes over to our table, and what an amazing human being, like absolute genius. And he doesn't give a shit about anything. He doesn't care who comes into his restaurant. Yes. He doesn't care whether he's like, obviously he's making some money, but he doesn't really think about, he doesn't want it to be exorbitantly priced. Yeah. All he wants to do is deliver the best possible food in the best location ever to the nicest people.
That's what he said. That's his focus.
That's his focus. Yeah. And just that sort of approach.
I want to go now.
The
just because of that.
Genius. We had like a chat for he came over for like an hour. We spoke about everything. Like he's best mates with Zac Efron. Because apparently Zac Efron just like while they were shooting, Hangover in Bangkok, he came over. Like I could see Gaggan and Zac Efron. Gaggan's like an Indian version of Zac Efron. Like he's such a character. Like he's completely out there, completely wacky. Like so much energy.
So he's a chef also, or is he a restaurateur?
No, he's a chef.
He's the chef.
In fact, he doesn't give a shit about the restaurateur side of it. So he's got a team that does, you know, the locations. He just wants to deliver the best dishes.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's closing in 2020. So he's very honest about it. He's like, I'm over it. Like, and I just want to move and I just want to go somewhere amazing. I'm like, where do you want to go? He's going to go to a fishing village in Japan.
Of course.
And I was, you know, everyone's like, why? He's like, because it's the freshest ingredients, the best location, like the middle of nowhere, and he's going to open a little restaurant. Like his own, and he loves Japan because of the ingredients, the quality, and the attention to detail.
And he's not worried about the radioactive fish coming out of Fukushima?
I didn't ask him that, actually. But I think he's going down south. So
he really geographically, he'll stay isolated. And the name of the restaurant in Bangkok, again,
Gaggan.
Gaggan.
His first name is Gaggan.
G-A-G-A-N.
G-A-G-G-A-N.
Thank you for the 2 G's. So
Gaggan.
G-A-G-G-A-N. Gaggan.
Exactly.
And it will be open through
to 2020. But I mean, you're talking months for reservations.
Oh, right.
It's crazy. And he just got a second Michelin star, literally like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. He wasn't even gunning for it.
Well, you can't really gun for it.
No, you can. I mean, there's a lot of restaurants out there that are like, this is what I want. And he actually spoke about it when he came over to our table. He's like, I met with the Michelin guys. Yes, I want the second star. But, you know, and I'll tell him I'll put Michelin tires on my car if that's what they'll give me. But I'm not going to do anything exceptional just to get that star. You know, it's not like I'm going to be on the lookout all the time. And it's just, we're just going to do what we do best. Yeah. And if we get it, we get it, you know?
I actually know someone who works for the Michelin. She's one of the reviewer people, and they keep a very low profile.
Yeah.
They design it so they could come in under the radar, and so the restaurant can't game the system and give them special treatment or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way she does it, and I've actually joined her. She actually invited me to come along for lunches and dinners to be part of her cover.
That must be great.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, hey, you're in town. I'm ready.
And she takes notes at the table? Or how does she
she'll take
remember?
Photos of the food items as it comes out for her records.
Which everyone does nowadays anyway.
Which anyone does, exactly. So that doesn't stand out as anything special. But she doesn't write notes. I mean, she just makes mental notes. She might even talk about it to me while she's doing, like, you know, say a few points or whatever.
Interesting.
But it's kind of just very...
And what's her background?
Very fluid. Oh, the background's complicated, man. But there's always been a food background. But it wasn't a direct linear line to become the reviewer. It was like food was always in her life as a young kid and being brought up with it. But she moved into like TV production in New York and was doing that for many years. But just through the grapevine, through the network, this opportunity years later opened up, and someone actually thought of her, said, you would be perfect for this. And she kind of went back to school and there was many steps. She told me the story once, but it's this long.
So she has to study for it. It's not like you just step into that role. You got to like learn food.
It has to be more in your blood. How about that? She's not a foodie. She's definitely not a foodie. You would love her. She's very, very...
So what does she think about foodies?
I never asked her.
Love to ask
next
her
time I see her. You'd love to ask her? I can't mention her name on air. She needs to keep a low profile.
I've got a thing about foodies
for her reviewing.
Bugs me.
You want to rant, you want to rave on with someone else. This is the Christmas special. We're keeping it positive.
Yeah, so Gaggan, thank you for hosting us. It was an amazing experience. Like, honestly, I'd love to go back. He was out partying last weekend at Wonderfruit, which is a big music festival in Thailand.
What's it called?
Wonderfruit.
Wonderfruit.
Wonderfruit. It's
Wonderfruit.
They call it the Burning Man of Thailand. So it's the same sort of atmosphere, obviously much smaller, but apparently it's an amazing festival. He was telling us about it. He couldn't wait. He was just like, I can't wait.
How old is this guy?
I'm going to lose my mind. He's 30 something, I think, or early 40s. Like,
right.
I mean, but he's full on. Like the guy is, like I said, Zac Efron Indian version. Like he's hilarious.
Really?
So much energy, absolutely hilarious, very eccentric. Knows his stuff. So I'd recommend it.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of new places opening up. Well, I'm discovering new places because Gaggan's been around for ages. You know that 1880 finally opened in Singapore?
The premier social club of Singapore City, 1880.
Actually, mind
not
you,
a sponsor.
We should go there after this, maybe.
You are one of the founding members. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm very lucky to have been...
Charter member?
I don't know what you call it. I've been very lucky to be invited.
He's such a fortunate fellow. Yeah. No, I look forward to checking it out.
The food is excellent. I had a meal there yesterday, actually.
Yeah?
Really good. Surprisingly good, actually.
I've been following their Instagram feed. I see the pictures of the chef like doing his thing. They're promoting it. They're like showing the food part of it.
Yeah,
I saw that.
And they're full. I mean, they're full. Like it's packed. So the patrons are there for the food, clearly. I mean, it's a great hangout spot. I think they're going to do really well. I think they'll do well.
Well, I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah. To Mark and the team, best of luck.
Mark N.
Congratulations on the launch. It was
one of our first supporters. He's got a special place in our hearts.
We'll have to go record in there one day, actually.
Yeah.
He's invited in there to record.
Yeah, we'll mix up a margarita mix and bust out the vodkas and rums, and I'll be ready to record.
They've got kombucha on tap.
Kombucha on tap?
It's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Very new agey.
I love it. I love it. I think we should wrap this up.
Seriously?
Yeah, before I lose my voice. I got a little bit of a cough.
We've got lunch as well. We've got lunch planned.
We got lunch plans, and the time is ticking away.
I can't believe it's 2017 is over.
2017.
It's been a good year, though. How's yours been?
It's been a good year.
Mine has been brilliant.
You're riding a wave.
I am. It's a bit choppy at times, and it's a beast of a wave, but it's a lot of fun. It's definitely 6 foot over, a few foot overhead. This thing is coming in thick.
All right, don't snap your back, whatever you do, when it crashes all around you. Well, that's wonderful. And 2018 is around the corner.
Yeah.
We wish all our listeners a happy new year.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get this thing out, even if we skip over the last episode.
Let's do that.
Because this one's pretty solid.
Okay.
I shouldn't be talking right now. We should just end the episode. But, I want to encourage our listeners to follow on our stuff. We're getting geared up for 2018.
Definitely.
Follow on the Instagrams, Double Confirm Show, Twitter, Double Confirm Show, Facebook page, Double Confirm
iTunes,
Show.
Optional.
iTunes, you can get your favorite podcatcher.
The
SoundCloud, Mixcloud, iTunes. We're still with Tim Cook.
Sticking in there until the bitter end.
To the bitter end, Timothy. Help us all. What else? Are we on something else? We're on the YouTube.
The YouTube.
We're going to do video. We're going to be doing video in 2018. I swear to God.
We should.
I'm getting a lavalier microphone.
I think we're there, man.
We're there.
I think we are really there.
We're there. We'll figure out how to put graphics up behind us. We'll have a green screen. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I'll bust out the guitar, play a riff. But yeah, and you could even follow me on my own Instagram at thomasmangieri.com.
He's influencing. Do it, guys.
You got to see it. You got to see the brains behind the operation. Or half the brains. As you bang your teeth against the mic. And with that, I bid you adieu and see you in the new year.
See you in the new year, guys.